all is well with everybody. Hello, hello. We're waiting for people to come in and we will get started. Hello. I'm going to send out my shares really quickly. But I hope all is well with everyone today, and I hope that this topic serves you well, because I know that I was once one of those people who suffered from emotional eating, and I know that it can be difficult with dealing with emotions, especially with everything that we have going on with society, and understanding the connection between our emotions and how food affects our emotions as well. Because yes, food can spark a dopamine response and cause us to feel good in the moment of eating, and especially when we're over consuming sugar and additives and fillers from processed foods, because it gives us that dopamine response. It makes us feel good. That's the feel good hormone. And so the emotional eating is a unhealthy coping mechanism. It's a way that we use food, is how it's either harming us or helping us. And so we have to understand that emotional eating is not healthy. It is pretty toxic, because if you look at emotional eating and how your habits are when you're emotionally eating, what do? You overconsume and you eat crap. You don't eat anything that's adding to your body and helping your body out. But instead, you are sitting there eating something that's giving you a dopamine response, gives you that chemical response that allows you to sit there and tell yourself, hey, you're eating something that tastes good. It's okay for you to keep going and keep eating this way. Every time you get stressed out, it's okay, go get some ice cream. Every time you go through a breakup, go get some ice cream. Every single time you're stressed out, go get some fried food. You've had a long day, let's go get something fatty and fried, and soak that up and make our gut balance go off. Hello, I hope all is well with you today. And so you have to understand that emotional eating is keeping you from the health that you deserve and that you need. And it's also triggering anxiety and depression inside of you. Because if you do not understand how your gut and your brain is connected, not only is your gut balance and your gut biome connected to your brain's health, but your brain is connected to all the functions inside of your body. And so when your gut balance is off, it's throwing off your chemical balance in your brain. And when your chemical balance in your brain is off, you do realize that your systems cannot function at full capacity, because it depends on your brain to feed everything that it needs for all of your systems to be going, to tell your systems, hey, you need to digest this, hey, you need to expel that, and to tell where everything needs to go, vitamins, minerals, and different things like that. But when you're sitting there with a gut biome that is not producing enough pH balance that it needs to digest food every single day, when you are sitting there in an anxious and depressed state because not only are you emotionally eating, but you're stressed out and you're not dealing with the stress, so then you're internally holding on to that stress, you are throwing yourself off to the point where you can't be healthy on the inside. Your body cannot function at full capacity. Your body cannot function the way that it's properly designed, so your body is not healing. And so majority of society does not realize that you are blocking your health with this cycle of emotional eating. You are blocking your healing, which is a process that your body naturally does on its own, all because you are sitting there emotionally consuming every single time you get overstressed. Every single week you do this. Every single day you do this. Every time you get your favorite processed snack after you've gone through a breakup and you've had a hard day, and you're eating your ice cream and your cookies and your hot chips and all these different things to make yourself get that dopamine response, you're also throwing off your chemical balance because you're not making discerning choices. Look at what you do when you sit there and you're like, I've had a hard day. What is my comfort meal? A lot of people, especially because me, I still do this. A good comfort meal for me is pasta. But I stop there. A lot of people, they get pasta, they get bread, they do a snack after, they get chocolate, they get cookies, they get brownies, ice cream, cake, whatever else. And you pile that all on top, and you sit there and say that this is a way that you cope, that you help yourself cope with the stress that's going on. Not realizing the fact that it's like, not only are you throwing yourself off and over consuming, but you're also sitting here not dealing with the stress that is going on inside of your body. So you're just constantly going through this emotional cycle of high from the dopamine, low because you never dealt with the stress, middle ground because you started the day over again, so you feel like you're at that baseline, and then you're going high, low, high, low, high, low, middle ground every single day. The middle ground is when you go to sleep. The high is when you get to that stressful point of the day because you haven't dealt with all the stress that you have going on. And then the low point is when you hit the bed and you're like, man, it's been a hard day, I'm gonna rest. That's the only time that you get to actually settle. And majority of you aren't even settling at that low point, because if you were like me, you're one of those people that you lay your head down on the pillow and you think about all the 30,000 things you have to do the next day. You're thinking about all the 30,000 things you didn't do today. You're making a mental list and holding all of that in. So not only are you holding in the internal stress that you are getting from the emotional response that you are not dealing with throughout the day from your stress that you have every single day, but you're also sitting there not dealing with the stress of releasing. You're not dealing with the stress of releasing all the tasks that you have to do. You're not doing a healthy coping mechanism. You're not having any healthy coping mechanisms when it comes to food. And you're not giving yourself nourishment that you need with food. So do you not realize that you're doing yourself a disservice in every aspect? I was about to say, every aspect and every point that you are hitting when it comes to you dealing with stress and managing and giving yourself that feel-good hormone. But in reality, all you're doing is giving yourself a momentary band-aid. You're not dealing with the actual issue. You're not dealing with the problem that you are having. You are just sitting there emotionally scarring and stunting yourself, which is also scarring you and emotionally stunting your health journey, because that is an emotional journey. You have to understand that just because you want to be healthy, you want to go to the gym, you want to look better, whatever, that has an emotional aspect to it. And that can be stressful if you don't know how to deal correctly, if you don't know how to support your body through that journey, if you don't know how to give yourself an environment that is not stressful. And a lot of us don't know how to do that, because our idea of dealing with stress is emotionally eating. Our idea of dealing with stress is eating a bunch of junk, toxic fillers. And so we don't even realize the fact that your food choices are driving you to the health that you deserve, or it's driving you away from it. Because food should be used as your medicine, and you should know how to use food as medicine. Your emotional stability starts with you getting the vitamins and the minerals that you need and knowing how to get that through food without you sitting there having to eat meat, without you consuming dairy. Because meat is making you inflamed, and dairy is making you inflamed, which inflammation also causes instability in your body, which leads you to having diseases and illnesses. So understand that that emotional trauma that you were putting your body through is keeping you in an ill state. And we all know what stress does to the body, because externally we know it ages you, but internally you don't understand the fact that it's also aging your body. These coroners are sitting there doing autopsies on bodies, and they're finding out the fact that these coroners are seeing that our internal organs are 3 times our actual age of what we are. These coroners are doing autopsies and seeing that your internal organs are aged 3 times than your actual age. And there's a reason for that. The same way that stress affects you externally, you get wrinkles, you look stressed out, your skin is dull, you're fatigued, and all these different things going on so you don't look healthy. That's what you look like internally too. Just because we can't see your insides every single day, you have to understand that whatever is reflecting on the outside is what's going on the inside. If you look stressed out, if you look tired, if you look dull, if you look ill, on the inside, you are ill. You are tired. You're stressed out. If you look run down on the outside, you are run down on the inside too. That instability with the emotional consumption is not getting you to the stable space that your body needs. It's not supporting your body like it needs. And in order for you to get to the space of you supporting your body, it looks like you understanding first that food influences your mood. So if you are anxious, if you are depressed, if you are moody, if you're fatigued, if you feel like you're having mental fog, if you don't know how to support yourself every single day without having to take a medication or a prescription, because if not, you're going to be unstable with your emotions, you're going to be unstable with your habits, you're not using food as your medicine and you're not prioritizing that. Yes, there are a number of different things going on with our society when it comes to having ADHD, ADD, having autism, and all these different things. But when you put the connections together and realize the fact that majority of this is stemming from the food, and if you switch your food habits, it will heal, you'll realize the fact that all of these children especially are not sitting here dealing with something that they were born with. It was taught and programmed. It's from the food that the mother and the father that were consuming. It's from the food that the child was given as soon as they were able to be able to eat. We're seeing more and more that these children especially are having issues around 2 and 3, and that's usually the time that people develop autism, ADD, and all these different things, depending on obviously their different temperaments and how far they along on the spectrum they are. But you start to see and make the connections, the fact that, like, okay, this child has autism, but they don't put 2 and 2 together that they're feeding the child red dye as soon as they can start eating. They're not putting 2 and 2 together. They're feeding them BHT and titanium dioxide and citric acid. And citric acid is made from black mold. Mold is toxic to the body. Mold causes issues when it comes to cognitive function and behavioral problems. So put the connections together of the fact that they are allowing us to poison ourselves with these foods, these additives and fillers. We're throwing off our chemical balance inside of our body, making ourselves crave the crappy foods more, and making ourselves depend on these crappy foods in order for us to sit here and function throughout the day because we're addicted. But not also putting 2 and 2 together that since we are poisoning ourselves, we're passing these habits down onto the children that we have or the children that we're going to produce later on. And so we're not realizing the fact that we are anxious and we're depressed and having panic attacks and all these different things. That does not run in your family. What runs in your family are the terrible habits, and it continuously gets passed down. That's what's keeping it in your family. But if you break the curse of you being an emotional eater and breaking the curse of you not dealing with the stress that you have going on inside of your body and not knowing how to support your body with real whole foods, break that curse, you'll break the cycle of it continuously running through your family, so you no longer will have that disease dormant inside of your body. Thank you for the gifts. But it all starts with you realizing that you have to break that cycle of emotionally eating and not dealing with your stress correctly. It all starts there. And if you are ready to be in that space, then this live will support you. All of my past lives that I post on YouTube will support you. And if you are ready to get in the space of how you release that, how you get to the space of healing, how you get on the journey of your healthy healing that you deserve, then you need to come work with me and I can support you because I was once there. You have to understand the impact of emotional eating because I got to the space of understanding what sugar was doing to my body. I understood processed foods were making me toxic, but also the combination between that they do with unhealthy fats, sugar, and the combination of salts. All 3 of those throw off your chemical balance alone. It wasn't enough for them. They got greedy, and then they started adding additives and fillers on top of those. But those 3 right there, the unhealthy fats, the sugar, and the salts, throws off your chemical balance, and that's the reason why you can't stop consuming when you're sitting there eating your bag of chips or your favorite cookies or whatever else. That's when you have to sit there and you're like, oh, I have to put this away because if not, I'm gonna eat it all. Because in reality, you're not getting full off of it, 1. 2, it's giving you that dopamine response that tells you this is delicious, keep eating it, you're not full, even though you've been eating majority of the Oreos. If it has 5 or 6 rolls, however many rolls, you ate 2 rolls already. It's telling you, your body's saying, I can't eat anymore, but your brain is saying, yes, keep going. And you're not realizing the fact that your emotions are so tied to food when it comes to that coping mechanism that you think that you have, quotes, because it's not really a coping mechanism, that you're thrown off to the point where you don't even have a discerning thought to realize the fact that you're so thrown off, that they're throwing off your chemical balance. Because when you're eating real whole foods like fruits and vegetables, or you're eating it, if it is a processed food that actually has real ingredients in it that's not full of fillers and additives, because there is food out there like that, you just have to find it, you'll get full. You won't be able to sit here and overconsume. And you'll also realize the fact that they have thrown you off so much that you've never been eating real food like you should have been. Because when I went plant-based, which is almost 4 years now, it's almost 4 years, it'll be 4 years in October. When I went plant-based, in the beginning, I was eating vegan products. I didn't read labels. I didn't really understand how to read labels. I knew about, ingredients, but I wasn't reading them enough. Thanks to the follow. I started to read my labels. I started to understand what was going on after I stopped labeling myself as vegan and actually labeled myself as plant-based, stopped eating vegan products unless I knew how to read the label and what it was. And I realized that even then, I was not eating correctly and I wasn't giving my body what it needed to be full. But once I went to a plant-based lifestyle, within the first 3 months, I saw the difference between my eating. I could not eat as much as I was before. I saw the difference in my body, and I saw how my skin started to heal itself. Because literally, I used to have, like, you can kind of see it still, but I used to have, and I didn't even realize until I was looking back at pictures of me, I used to have a full breakout of just like skin rash looking kind of thing, hyperpigmentation, whatever, all going across my chest. And I never realized it. I have a bunch of different like light patches on my body, but I didn't realize how detrimental it was to my skin when it comes to the food that I was eating. Once I started to get more fruits and vegetables, because that's more water intake, that's more natural sugars, that's natural food going inside of my body, I saw the difference in my skin. I saw the difference in my energy. I saw the difference in my health emotionally. I was having panic attacks in high school. I was in and out of depression episodes of depression and anxiety, having anxiety every day, all day. Like, honestly, I was so anxious. Going in and out of depression episodes at least once a month, at least. Like, every other week was having something going on. I'm not raw, but I only eat fruits and vegetables. I'm plant-based. I literally only eat fruits and vegetables, no dairy. Like fruits, vegetables, nuts, legumes, obviously, but it's all plant-based things. No meat, no dairy. And so I'm not raw, but I do cleanse. And then when I cleanse, I go raw. And that's just because, like, I enjoy the life that I live. I'm not going to sit there and force me to do something that I don't want to do. Going raw will never be fun for me. Cleansing is not bad because I only do it once a month. But doing that every single day, that would make me sad. That would make me not want to do this lifestyle anymore. And so that's what I teach people, how to be able to live this lifestyle and just to accomplish this lifestyle in an easy space. Rather than you watching these gurus and all these people on TikTok telling you have to go raw, you have to go alkaline. Because that was not authentic to me. At first, I thought I was going to go alkaline eventually. I don't want to go alkaline. Like, I'm not in an acidic environment because I'm not inflamed all the time because I don't eat a bunch of crap. I rarely eat fried foods now. I was in the beginning into the space of me eating a lot of fried foods because I had to get myself adjusted. But that was just me coming from a life of going from fast food, eating fried chicken and eating all these, like, I didn't eat McDonald's before I went. Like, I stopped at McDonald's a couple of years before. But, you know, going to your favorite place and getting fries and all these different things. And I still go get fries, but it's every now and then. In the beginning, I had to wing myself off of that. And I knew that if I was also not eating any meat and any dairy and making myself not be able to have the foods that I love, that was going to make me not stick with this lifestyle. But once I started to wing myself off of meat and I saw the transition and the change in my life, then started to wing myself off of dairy and saw the transition, I knew that eventually I would get to the space of no longer eating all the crap that I was when it came to fried foods. I was limiting my processed foods for sure and learning new processed foods that I could eat that weren't terrible and toxic to my body. And so now here I am in the lifestyle and of being almost 4 years in the plant-based, and I can tell you, like, psychologically, I've grown. Through this journey, I've grown when it comes to me knowing how to make my own vegan food or my own plant-based food and not having to buy vegan products and making my own products. That's another thing. Like, there are plenty of products that are non-toxic out there that you can go and you can purchase and you buy. They're pretty expensive. You're going to be racking up more money than making it yourself. But I can make my own products. I do make my own products. The only thing that I don't make, because it's literally natural detergent that they have that is pretty cheap for how much you get, and I've had it for over 2 or 3 years now. One little box. There's a big bag that I was going to get in the beginning. That probably would have lasted me probably 5 to 10 years. And I just didn't get it because I didn't know if it was going to work the way that it has. And it has worked very well. I make my own shampoo. I make my own, mouthwash, toothpaste. I make my own body wash. I make my own hand soap. Like, I make all the products that I need so that I don't have to sit there and feel like I'm breaking the bank living this lifestyle, because you don't have to break the bank. It's all about you knowing how to take care of your body and also knowing how to take care of your wallet. But I also understood the fact that, like, I'm tired of having to read labels when it comes to these companies changing whatever it is that they're making or giving to me. And so what did I do? I started making my own body wash. I started making my own things, my own products. And the same thing with food. If I can make it, I prefer to make it more than me just going out and getting it. There are plenty of brands like Annie's and all these different things that give you the little jackfruit in the box that they've already made and it's gone through its whole process or whatever. But you do realize that that food is processed. I can go to the international market, get me a jackfruit, a half of a jackfruit for $13, and get a half of a jackfruit and have enough meat alternative for at least a month. And that's just me singular. If you're a household of 2, 3 plus, if you get the whole full jackfruit, that will support all of you for the month. That you pay, yeah, you spent like probably $30, but that's enough meat for you to make an alternative of you making tacos, you making different, because I made fried chicken from it. You can make fried chicken, you can make taco meat, you can make ground meat for other items that you like. If you like hamburger helper and things like that, you can make it with that. You can just eat it by itself because it's a fruit and it's delicious. But that fruit is sweet, but when you cook it, it turns into a savory because you're seasoning the meat. So it's kind of like it's not really sweet. If you cook it, the longer you cook it, the sweetness goes away. And so you have to understand that it's all about you knowing how to do it, educating yourself on how to do this for yourself. And if you want to know how to do it, there are plenty of help me's, because this is how I got to the space. There are plenty of ways for you to educate yourself on how to do this for you. It's the matter of you going and getting that education. It's the matter of you getting out of that stubborn space of thinking that at the end of the day, your doctor is going to give you everything that you need with these medications and prescriptions and supplements and all these different things. When in reality, those are momentary band-aids. No medication or prescription is going to help you heal, first of all. Second of all, if you are taking supplements and you are not eating correctly and supporting your body with food, you're wasting your time and your money. You're filling your body with a momentary band-aid that is not going to help you. It would be potent if you were eating correctly. The same thing with herbs. If you are using herbs as your medicine, but you're not eating correctly and you don't know how to support your body and getting all the minerals and vitamins that it needs to absorb all the things that you're putting inside of your body with the herbs, you're wasting your money. And herbs are not cheap. Like, you can get herbs in bulk like I have because I have them behind my head. But it's like, I don't have to take that many herbs. I've had these herbs for quite a while now because I support my body. I'm not inflamed all the time. I'm not sick all the time. And so I can use these when it's necessary, like you should be with medicine. You shouldn't have to depend on medicine every day, every week, every month. Some week, I do try to drink my tea on a regular basis. I'm going to say that I drink tea at least 1 week out of the month, but I can go majority of the month without having to drink my teas. It's all about the fact that I know how to support my body and I eat real whole food. I don't sit here and go out and go to fast food places and eat GMOs and eat all this crap all the time. I eat organic. I support my body with the products that I'm using so I'm not putting toxic chemicals on my skin. I know how to support myself with detoxing and cleansing on a regular basis. So then, for instance, how you're talking about liver health, so my liver's not overloaded and working too hard every single day. Same thing with my kidneys because my blood is supported. I know how to support my body with food. And that's what you do for your liver health. If you're suffering from any issues that you have going on, not just your liver, if you're having painful menstrual cycles, if you're having PCOS, cysts, fibroids, if you have any issues, gut-related issues, if you have any mental fog, fatigue going on, depression, anxiety, it starts with your food, and I promise you, you will see a difference. If you're not ready for that, this page is not for you and my lives are not for you. But if you are ready to start using food as your medicine and support your body in the healing process, because your body is supposed to be healing, then this is for you and I will support you. And all of my free content that I post every single live on YouTube after the fact will support you, all my past lives, as well as going forward with my TikTok, my Instagram, my Facebook, my YouTube, whatever platform you follow me on, or if you follow me on all.